Stories told here. Today, I am going to explain an action, sci-fi, thriller movie called District 9. Be aware, the video contains spoilers. In 1982, a giant extraterrestrial spaceship arrives at Earth and hovers over the South African city of Johannesburg. A human investigation team finds over 1 million malnourished aliens inside, and the South African government relocates them to a terrestrial camp, called District 9. However, over the years it turns into a slum, and locals from Earth often complain that the aliens are filthy, ignorant lawbreakers who bleed resources from humans. In the beginning, people supported to give proper status and protection to the aliens. However, this has changed and no non-human zones became normal. People felt that the money they spend on keeping the aliens alive should be spent on them instead. Pieces started falling from the vessel for months, and nobody knew where the aliens hid them. The military found more and more energy weapons inside the slum and tensions rose. People became more and more fed up and eventually the rioting started. The derogatory term, prawn, is used for the alien. Some say it is only used because they look like prawns. As violence rose, after 20 years, the government is forced to ship the aliens out of Johannesburg. They plan to move 1.8 million prawns to 200 kilometers away, to a new camp. To make the move legal, every single prawn needs to sign papers and be noticed 24 hours before the operation. Pete Smith promotes Wikus to field officer, to take direct command. Although he isn't the brightest of the people there, Wikus happened to be the husband of Pete's daughter, named Tanya. As soldiers and office workers prepare for the operation, Wikus already gets into an argument with the MNU soldiers and brags about the office leading the operation, not the soldiers. When the operation begins, we learn that prawns have no concept of ownership and property. As the convoy enters the camp, we see prawns destroying rubbish and preparing for a firefight. As they step out of the truck, shots were fired immediately. One prawn starts eating the spare tire on the vehicle. As a soldier approaches the prawn and prods him, the prawn rips off his arm and kicks him back. The soldiers shoot the prawn down and a few others, while Wikus distracts them with cat food. Next scene we see a prawn bribed with cat food. We learn that cat food is drugs to them. Gray Bradman, the chief correspondent, tells us they think the prawns are the workers of the colony. They lost all their leadership presumably through illness. Nigerian gangs were scamming prawns by selling cat food for exorbitant prices, making interspecies prostitution available and dealing in alien weaponry. As they go from door to door, they find a breeding house, where a cow is hanging from the ceiling, providing nutrition for the prawn eggs. Wikus calls a cleaning team. They burn the house to the ground with the eggs in it. We learn from Gray that the real reason behind the moving is weapons, as MNU stands for Multinational United, is the second largest weapon manufacturer in the world. They discovered earlier that the alien weapons don't work with humans, as they are biologically engineered and they exclusively activate with prawn DNA. Next scene, we see a prawn in a red vest, named Christopher, searching for a fluid, what can only be found in their own electronic waste. A young prawn finds it and gives to Christopher. We see them extract the fluid, and making something with it. They hide the device while Wikus and his team is approaching the house. Wikus searches the house for weapons, but instead, he finds the device the prawns tried to hide. The device sprays a black liquid fluid on Wikus's face. He starts coughing and asking the cameraman to cut that out of the video. They eventually find a stack of weapons in the house. Wikus takes a gun outside to show it off, when the prawn attacks Dirk and throws him away. The prawn throws away Wikus as well, before the soldiers shoot him down. As the prawn begs for his life, Kubis executes him. Wikus is injured but refuses to go to a hospital, and stays on site. Christopher sends his son out to watch out for humans. Wikus approaches the house and as they try to make Christopher sign the papers, we see that he has a concept of property, and questions the eviction. Christopher also states that the MNU should give him 24 hours, indicating his capability to read English. The prawn says what the MNU doing isn't legal and refuses to sign the papers. Wikus threatens him by saying he is going to take his son away and lock up the little one in a 1-by-1 cell for the rest of his life. As he looks for the child prawn, he started feeling unwell and vomits behind the shack. Wikus leaves without a signature or the child, as he feels dizzy after the container sprayed him with the black fluid. They stop at a local fast food restaurant to eat when the others notice black fluid coming out of Wikus's nose. Back at the MNU headquarters, Wikus's nail falls off. He rushes to the toilet, where he can easily remove his nails. Christopher and his son later goes back to look for the container, but they can't find it, as Wikus took it and sprayed on himself. Nigerian gangsters extract weapons out from District 9 to sell them. They buy a battle robot for 100 cans of cat food. We learn that the Nigerians consume the prawns as they believe they can consume their power as well, to use their weapons. When Wikus gets home, his wife surprises him with a party to congratulate him for the promotion. Pete is furious about the too many dead prawns and tells Wikus he'll replace him if he isn't capable of the job. When Wikus tries to cut his cake, he vomits black and faints. He wakes up in a hospital, and when a doctor cuts off his bandages, he reveals that his hand mutated to a tentacle, just like what the prawns have. The MNU comes and puts him in a bag to take him away. When Wikus wakes up, he sees many doctors performing surgery and research on him. They find the container that sprayed him. After cleaning Wikus, the MNU performs a pain threshold test on him, which showed that the nerves have fused completely. The MNU tests weapons with Wikus if he can activate them. The test is successful. Wikus becomes the first human to be able to fire a prawn weapon. The MNU puts an alien as a target for Wikus. Wikus begs for them to put a dead pig there, instead of an innocent alien, but the MNU makes him shoot the gun, killing the frightened creature. They discover that Wikus can activate the guns even with his human hand. The MNU discusses the possibility of harvesting whatever they can from Wikus, since he is going to turn into a prawn sooner or later. Pete agrees to harvest Wikus and says he'll handle the rest with his daughter. Pete then goes to Tanya, lying to her that her husband is badly injured and the doctors are doing everything they can to save him. As the doctors begin to harvest Wikus, he breaks free from his straps and beats the doctors. He takes a scalpel into his hand and threatens the other doctors to kill one of their co-workers. Wikus escapes successfully. Pete sends Kubis after Wikus. The MNU puts lies about Wikus in the news, to turn public opinion against him. They lie that he had intercourse with a prawn and he has an infectious disease. After receiving no help, Wikus decides to head to District 9 and hide there. 40 hours after the exposure, Wikus heads to the local restaurant and treats himself to a can of cat food. As he is eating the cat food, his teeth starts to fall out. Wikus's phone rings. It's Tanya. Tanya only calls him to tell him she believes the news in his father, and that she doesn't want to see him again. Wikus then takes an axe and tries to chop off his prawn arm. He manages to chop off one of his fingers, but as he is about to continue, dozens of choppers flood the sky. To hide from the choppers, he hides in one of the shacks. Inside, he meets Christopher and his son again. Wikus sees computers working on something, and as he begs Christopher to help him hide, he collapses due to blood loss, revealing his arm. Christopher hides him under his house. As Wikus wakes up, Christopher starts questioning him about the fluid. Christopher learns that the fluid is at the MNU lab. The kid tells Wikus that the black fluid was fuel for them to fly away. Christopher tells Wikus he could have fixed him, but it is too late now. Christopher says they have machines and medicine on the mothership to heal him, but to get there, they need the fluid. Wikus tells the prawn to just collect more, but the prawn tells him it took him 20 years to collect that amount and it is impossible to collect more. Wikus and the prawn agree to go and retrieve the fluid from MNU. 56 hours after the exposure, Wikus turns more and more into a prawn. As he checks himself in the mirror, he sees that his skin is coming off, revealing his prawn body under it. Wikus gets another call from Tanya, telling him she wants everything to be back. Wikus talks with her on the phone, not knowing her dad is tracing his phone down. Now the MNU knows Wikus is in District 9. Wikus heads to the Nigerian gang to buy weapons, so they can attack the MNU base. Wikus doesn't know about the Nigerians believing in consuming the prawns to possess their powers, so the leader gives command to cut Wikus's prawn hand off. Just before they about to cut his hand off, Wikus grabs an alien gun and shoots 2 of the gang members. Wikus leaves with the weapons. Wikus and Christopher attacks the MNU building. They reach level 4 where they keep the fluid. Wikus finds the fluid and tells Christopher to leave, but Christopher freezes as he sees dozens of his people slaughtered on tables. The MNU soldiers reach level 4, raining bullets on Christopher and Wikus. As Christopher and Wikus is pinned down, Christopher makes a bomb to blast the wall. They escape through the garage with a stolen MNU car. Kubis chases after them in a helicopter. When they get back to Christopher's shack, Christopher reveals to Wikus that the process to transform him back to human will take 3 years. Christopher says he needs to save his own people first, to not let them become medical experiments. Christopher promises that he will come back in 3 years, but Wikus gets angry and slams a piece of wood against Christopher's head, knocking him unconscious. Kubis enters the shack as Christopher is waking up. Wikus climbed down to the ship and inserted the fluid. Kubis is beating up Christopher as he refuses to open the ship's door. Wikus starts the ship by putting his hands in the fluid. The ship starts taking off. Kubis orders the anti-aircraft missile launcher to shoot him down. The ship gets hit, loses an engine and hits the ground. Kubis locks Christopher away and raids the downed ship. Kubis takes Wikus away, as Christopher's son is in hiding. 72 hours after the exposure to the fluid, Christopher and Wikus is being transferred when the Nigerian gang hits the MNU, taking Wikus to their leader. Christopher's son is fixing their ship while more MNU soldiers swarm the area. The little prawn manages to emit a wave from the mothership. The robot previously sold to the gang activates and kills the members before they could cut Wikus's arms off. Wikus shows his hand to the machine and it opens up, giving the opportunity for Wikus to man the machine. The MNU soldiers drag Christopher out of the van, trying to get answers from him about what is happening with the mothership. Wikus finally sits in the machine and runs away, telling the soldiers to keep Christopher but let him run. He starts to run, leaving Christopher to die, but his conscience makes him turn back. He shoots the MNU soldiers. He leads Christopher to his boy while killing off remaining MNU soldiers in the area. A high-caliber sniper rifle hits him twice and damages the machine. Wikus's machine breaks down and tells Christopher to go without him. Christopher doesn't want to leave him behind, but he has no other choice. He tells Wikus he will come back for him. 3 years, I promise. Wikus takes his last stand, killing dozens of soldiers. A beam gets activated from the mothership. Christopher and his son starts levitating in the ship towards the mothership. As Wikus's machine gets more and more damaged, he falls to the ground. Kubis tries to shoot down the ship with an RPG but Wikus grabs the rocket, exploding in the machine's arm. When Wikus is about to shoot down Kubis, the machine gets hit by a car. Laying on the ground, Wikus watches as the beam lifts Christopher and his son inside the mothership. Wikus gets back up one more time, shooting the car's driver. The machine gets hit by a shotgun from behind and Wikus gets ejected. As he crawls on the ground, trying to get away from Kubis, he sees that Christopher and his son reach the mothership, meaning they are safe. As Kubis is about to kill Wikus, the prawns come out of hiding, tearing Kubis into pieces. Christopher activates the mothership and leaves Earth. Gray Bradman comes back and says that was the last footage of Wikus and they don't know what happened to him. The film ends saying District 9 is demolished by now. District 10 houses over 2.5 million aliens and the number continues to grow. Tanya shows a metal rose that was left on her doorstep, then we see a prawn with cloth on his arm making it, indicating that Wikus turned into a prawn, but still alive. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment on what type of video you want to see next. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.